everybody, it is the Art Sherpa, your Art Sherpa. Today we're going to paint Elsa from Frozen live. On the mic today is my husband John.
Hi guys.
He is going to be reading your questions and comments with the help of the moderators. Those are people with little wrenches. Dropping links today will be Flame Gremlin and probably our other people with wrenches.
Oh, you have lots of moderators out here today.
So many moderators. And by the way, just so you know, if you're brand new here, if you've never watched before, we do this live art show where we teach you how to paint live. The moderators have been here so long, a lot of times they do know the answer to your question. So it's okay if they also answer, because sometimes they're like, oh, I know that one.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? We have a lot of community members out here as well that are just been out here. You know, they may as well be honorary moderators at this point. You know, we you know, we just have so much going on right now.
Like on their 300th painting.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like just touched that they're still here painting with us. We do, if you look in the description below, we have information about the materials. There's also, if you go to TheArtSherpa.com, you can find a link to the traceable. If you are painting with a little brush, my mom art tip to you is switch the canvas size down to 8x10.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find that 8x10 is just a better canvas size for people under the age of 12. Once they're 12, though, jack up those canvas sizes.
Oh, yeah?
Make them work.
Make them work.
They gotta stretch those art skills. But right now, it's sometimes helpful to size it down so that people aren't tired before they're finished. Because you might have known, it's kind of exhausting. We're going to do a 16x20 canvas today. We're painting this gorgeous piece. I thought long and hard about what to make here and what colors to use and how to put it together so that we could fulfill the dreams of all those little girls running around planet Earth singing Let It Go.
Oh, the little girls. You know what? We have a
the
lot.
top of their lungs probably right now that I said the words Let It Go, because you can't say Let It Go and not have them all sing in a choir.
I agree. Now, that is a really lovely hat you have on today.
Is it a lovely hat?
They think it's a very lovely hat that you have
I like my lovely hat.
Where, did you crochet that hat?
I do not crochet.
No.
I sometimes am given crocheted hats.
Mm.
This particular one I purchased off of Etsy because it had a kraken on it.
It's a kraken.
I was like,
so this is an Etsy hat.
Yeah, this seller had like one hat and they sold one hat. They haven't had any more hat. I'm like, why you make no more? Quick covering of the colors here.
Oh, are we going to do our wishes on the canvas there?
We are, but I just want to cover some materials just
all right, good.
real fast.
They were asking. So.
Yeah, we're definitely doing wishes today, but I just want to cover something for people coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So I have Southern Ocean Blue listed in the description, but I just want you to know that you can exchange it. This is like Golden's Teal. This is Liquitex's Bright Aqua Green. You just want a turquoise. We're definitely going to need yellow ochre, titanium white, phthalo blue, a black. I really like the acrylic glazing liquid gloss. Not essential to have, it's just helpful. On the quinacridone magenta, you can use another red if you just don't have this one. And then the very important toothbrush. I'm going to use this with titanium white fluid because it'll give me a nice flick. But you know what? Craft paint is also a soft-bodied paint.
Mm-hmm. And
if for any reason that you accidentally forget your toothbrush, rubbing alcohol will get the dried paint right out. Don't use it, though, again on your teeth later. Hey.
There was
Don't use it again on your teeth later. Once the toothbrush has been used for paint, it is for paint forever. I just have to explain this to my kids all the time because I'll find them, they'll like be running off with the toothbrushes.
Oh.
I'm like, that's not for your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
This is for making snow and galaxies and things that are important. I have a pencil for wishing. We like to add wishes to our canvas.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to paint the background in, and then I'm going to show you how to draw Elsa in if you would like to draw in. But remember, there is a traceable.
Yes, and you just got that up.
Yeah, I had that up. It was a bit of a morning getting it up. Are we ready for some wishes?
We are very ready for some wishes. So I saw that Colleen and a couple other people were under the weather today. So we're going to wish for some well wishes to all of those who are feeling a little under the weather.
I know I have a wish for Janine and Mona. One is for Janine. She's lost a good friend, a young girl. Not her own child, but a friend of hers.
Yeah.
So just strength and support for that whole community's loss and just everyone there. And then Mona, just some healing wishes for her mom.
Now, Casey had wished for her grandpa, who's having some seizures and some heart problems, and he's really under the weather there, and her dad as well, who's having some issues. So we'll get those. And Ashley, who needs some wishes on her final exams, and for all of the students out there. Yes, definitely final exams.
I'll add my honey into that one. She's got some coming up. She's a little freaked about.
Yep, and we're gonna wish for Micha's Micha's friend who's looking for a new liver.
Oh yeah, we have a couple people, so I'm gonna wish who are actually looking for organs.
Yeah, and Carrie, who she needs some heat up there, so we're gonna put some wishes in there for those.
All right, I think we got some wishes on the canvas.
And can we add just one last thing there for you?
Yeah,
we want everyone a wish for those holiday depressions to be gone. Just no more holiday depressions. Just like that's a.
Well, let's do that with this canvas.
Yeah, let's start right now.
Let those anxieties and depressions go. I'm tempted to add one in there for YouTube, but I'm sure they'll work it out.
They're working it out. We wish love for them.
I do. I'm very grateful to YouTube.
Well, they gave us this wonderful opportunity to talk with everybody here, and
wouldn't be doing any of this, wouldn't be having any of this. And no, I'm not placating them. That's like actual feeling that I have.
No, we hold their feet to the fire, but we
have genuine love for them because
they
provide an incredible service to a lot of creators that traditional media would not provide. Now I'm putting out my Southern Ocean blue and some white before I start. It's going to be up here, and I'm going to get a big brush.
Yeah.
You get a big brush. What am I going to get today? Something that pleases me.
Your big brush.
I'm going to get this brush. This is a 2-inch brush.
Yes.
This actually is not a brush for your home. If you are a mural artist, you might have this brush.
Although I have contemplated stealing that brush on multiple occasions.
It's mine. It's very good, and it's perfect for painting backgrounds. I've got a little grip of them for painting backgrounds that I'm really into. And then each day I just get to decide, what background brush am I using today? I don't know.
That one has a really cool name. Like
this is not the hockey.
No, it's some sort of cutter, like bulletin cutter or something.
Bulletin cutter, yeah. So I'm going to get just the tip of the bristles on this brush wet, because if you get bristles wet, right? Then they can soften. Also, this can pull up quite a lot of water. So even though this is the natural, flayed, best dressed, all that awesomeness brush ever, it's still good to make sure you don't overload. So I'm going to just load just the tips here. See how it's just that?
Oh, there you go. Wrong button.
Just right there. And at the top, I'm going to start with just the Southern Ocean blue coming down.
Oh, there we go.
Isn't that nice?
I'm trying to get my picture up, but I keep pushing the wrong
aqua
button.
Or teal might be a little bit lighter, but the reason that we're using this particular green is it plays so well against the phthalo and really makes our Elsa pop. And that's what we want. We want Elsa to pop in her snowy, snowy splendor. Oh, my drum is loose on this canvas.
Now, what do you mean by that? What?
You see how this is just very, it's all
floppy?
Yeah. What I'm going to do after I'm done painting this is spray the back with water, and that'll fix that.
What do you mean?
I'm going to take a spray bottle with water, and I'm going to soak the back of this with the water, and then it's going to dry and re-stretch.
Oh, so like so as it dries, it will stretch the canvas and make that drum tight again?
Yeah. And that, if I'm getting like weird little paint edges around the edge there, I'm going to get a little white into my brush right now. See how I'm loading some white?
Yep.
Into my Southern Ocean blue. I still want it quite dark because I want the snow and everything to pop, but I'm wanting a little blend here.
Oh, wrong button.
Because it needs to feel wintry, John.
Now, are you using a blending medium to make it do that?
Right now, I'm not. When I did the test, I had to use the blending medium, but right now I'm not having to use the blending medium because the brush, the way that it's loading is just going so nicely. Good brush makes a difference. I'm going to get just the tips here.
Yep.
And then I'm going to make sure I don't have any extra. Right? See how it's not like a big puddle?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be too much. And you can see that's meaning I don't have to use blending medium. Good brush. It's a good brush. It's a good brush. Don't have to have this exact brush, though, to have a good painting experience. I'm just telling you I'm having fun because the brush be awesome.
But those big wide brushes really help you cover that canvas faster.
They really do, in a well-made one that isn't shedding, where the bristles are laid in. You know how they go like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's called interlocked, isn't it?
Interlocked is how they are glued into the barrel.
I gotta get better at all that. I know these things. I know to look at it. I'm like, I can look at it and be like, This be good brush meat. Sorry, went a little tennis in there, didn't I?
Throw one more brush onto the sacrificial pyre.
It's about. I love how my easel gets so painted here.
That's one of my favorite things is to see your easel mature over time and get painted.
It's like a wine cask here, isn't it? And I'm just pulling this up, if you'll notice this.
Yep.
All right. I'm kind of doing a little, this reminds me a little bit, I'm pulling more white into my brush. This is a little bit like a Bob Rossi kind of thing because I'm using a big brush to do a lot of work for me. Always something that I
Are you
liked
going to
about
smack
his...
it on the canvas, on the easel?
I would, but it would just splatter even more paint.
You just run the risk of making my studio more of a mess.
I really do. So this is a good time. I'm going to just let this, I'm going to kind of rinse this out and get this in a brush. But this would be a good time to, if you had a nice big brush, I would rinse it out immediately after using it.
Okay. So
right. I'm going to just get the paint out of it and put it to the side and take care of it. But just don't leave it in the water.
Now, I missed some
I'm
questions.
terrible at that. So I'm now moving to I'm on a brush quest.
So I missed some questions up here. So I was busy watching you switch.
I got a sippy. I need some coffee. Do you guys need some coffee?
I do.
Oh, I keep trying to pretend it's not the holidays, but everything won't let me forget it, including the children.
How would you mix Southern Ocean Blue? So if you didn't, because you said earlier about that, but how would you substitute or mix it if you were going to do that?
Okay, so we have you can get an aqua. This is Liquitex's bright aqua green. Golden has this really lovely teal. Mm-hmm. And you can do phthalo blue, phthalo green, Tadacad yellow, and white.
Right.
But I knew we had a lot of kids painting this today. And you can also just get a craft turquoise. This
Yes.
is a background. What you want is a turquoise paint that you like.
Mm.
Turquoise paint that you like. It's very technical, this project. Let's try this background.
Linda said it seemed like there was a lot of water in that brush. Is that not affecting the paint?
It's not as much as you think.
Because it's just it's flowing off real easily. Huh?
That's a lot about how the brush is made and the quality of the paint, and there's just the right amount of water. But it doesn't. It's not like a watercolor brush. If I used a wash, right, it would flow water into my paint. Whereas this holds just enough. Not too much, and that's why you always drag it off too. And if you're worried, wipe it in a towel.
Yeah, if you get too much, just
water
wipe it off in a
management
towel.
in your paint is a big deal. So if you go to put it here and it's like a puddle, wipe it off in a towel and start again.
Gotcha. Okay.
Let's dry this sucker.
All right, you're good. So while she's going to do that, I'm going to say, whoa! We haven't said it. We've got so many people here, and I imagine there's a lot of little brushes here. So over 230 people in the room, 175 likes. Thank you guys for all of that. The love and support. We know it's tumultuous times on the platform. We all are working our stuff out here, so we love you guys coming out and hanging out with us live. And thank you. We appreciate the support, and we're totally cool. As the best I can say is that this is working. We love being here, and we love being with you guys, and all of the little brushes. I just want to say hello and high five to you guys. I see lots of singing in the chat, so I'll say high five to that. And no, Grinks, she has not yet sprayed the back of it with water, but she probably will afterwards. And the reason she was going to do that was to try to tighten up the drum, which you just saw her touch there on that. And then she's a little unhappy with that, so she was probably hoping that the hairdryer would help tighten that up. But I don't think that it did much based on how much we're seeing it sort of move there with the wind. So she may end up flipping that over and spraying that and tightening it up. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. So I also forgot to say, if you go over to TheArtSherpa.com, we have a whole bunch of polls and stuff going on there. The chat is working both for mobile and for desktop. The next 24, 48 hours, you're going to see a whole bunch of graphical changes. We got lots of new stuff going on there.
Hopefully we won't break it all.
Oh, no. I'm definitely going to break it. And if you're there, you'll see it happen in chat.
If you come by, sometimes you get links to videos early.
Yeah,
you get
all the time.
Pictures early.
Mm-hmm. that we're dropping all of our wonderful stuff,
especially in the chat, because I'll be like, "Is this any good?"
Well, we just we want you guys to give us.
Think?
We know that you guys can tell us what you think right there, live in the chat. So that's why we're like,
y'all are too nice. That you'll be like, "It's great." Actually, I love it. Don't stop. I got enough people telling me what they think. I love it.
So
it's good. Keep it going, especially over the holidays. Yep. Oh my, more sippy.
And they can
this is my Starbucksy emerald cup.
Now you can get your shirt at shop.theartsherpa.com.
Tons of shirts and cups and totes and things at shop.theartsherpa.com.
Yes.
If you want one.
Yes, and they were just asking. So where can we get the cool shirts?
Well, then I'm totally happy to answer. You can see there's picture-in-picture there. Little quick thought on this canvas. So when you're out buying canvases, a loose drum is not critical because drum is the part of the canvas that's stretched over the wood, which are the stretchers.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, could you use the
weird
keys?
Thought, you want to fold, not a cut. Just things I feel. Spray the back. Yep. You don't have to buy the special canvas stretching spray. Water does it, and let it dry in a non-humid place, and it will probably restretch.
We're going to try to get some better canvases because this is...
Yeah, this is getting crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you were to buy Frederick's, you would have none of these problems at all, ever. Mold, don't get them. Take them back. If they're molded, there isn't really a fix for that. Just don't.
Yes.
Just don't. And there are some. I'm getting tons and tons of report of mold.
Oh, and Mariana was saying, I missed it. What about the polls? So on our website, we have a whole bunch of polls where we ask you questions like, what is the next painting you want to do, whether it's MTV style or, what kind of animals do you want to do, or do you like this new video we're dropping? All sorts of stuff.
Right Twix, left Twix.
That's right.
Polls, important information, blogs happen. Okay. I'm going to draw her
Teach painting, and then we'll come back to questions because you opened a can.
You can keep asking. I'm going to draw her in. And something I want to say to you new artists, right, is that, listen, if you draw regularly, you'll have this down. If you don't draw regularly, you've got to make a deal with me right now. You're going to be just relaxed about it.
Yeah.
Don't go, is it like mine? Go, did you achieve what you were hoping to achieve? Is it better than you were thinking you were going to do?
Yeah.
Because that's really the only goal you should be setting on your own canvas. It should be very personal. It shouldn't be like, is mine exactly like hers? That's not the goal. It's a crazy goal anyways.
And then we have traceables.
That's right. And we have traceables. So
which is the whole,
That's not cheating, by the way.
No.
I had somebody write a very long, they had feels that it was. I know where that feeling, I know the people propagating that myth.
And, that's okay feels to have.
It's okay feels to have. You draw. So I'm going to curve a line up. I'm going to bring it over towards the right hand of my canvas, and I'm going to swirl this. That's so I can get my little snow flurry in, right? Something else you may want to do is create a tapered sketch in. I'm going to do this very lightly where I just pull this in. That way I just make sure that my snow flurry is more powerful near the ground and gets narrower as it gets to the tip of the magic here. Okay, so I know where that is.
Yes.
I'm going to put her over here, okay? I want some room at the top of the canvas for her head, and her body is going to be coming off, right? So I'm going to show you how I actually sketch it, and I didn't do any anything. So you're going to see my mad method.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not some people are fantastic. They're like, woo, and they've got it. I'm a thinker, which is why I do this type of furtive, pensive little markings. That's what that is. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that you would say, like, artistically, like, oh, that's not, your extreme confidence isn't there. Doesn't mean I'm going to hold back, though. No, I'm not. So what I'm looking to make is a nice, not flat round shape, more of an elongated vertical round shape. And it is, for me, about 4 fingers on my 16 by 20 canvas. Hopefully this is going to be enough room.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little thing. I'm going to check a gesture. Right? So I know I have, on a figure, if I have a head here, I'm going to have a head here, and then, yeah, I'm okay. So you've got like about 3 heads. The chest is a head, the waist to the butt is a head, and you get a head butt, and then 2 more down the legs. Figures are about 5 to 8 heads. Depending on the person. Wouldn't it be nice if it was always just one number of heads? Right? Toddlers are like about 2.5 heads. Little things. I'm going to, because this is a bigger canvas, I'm going to make her neck a little longer. In drawing, the more you elongate the neck or legs, the more you'll like it.
Oh, yeah. Why is that?
Because it just appeals to our brain. There's actually psychology in figure drawing. The Venus figures all applied to it, which is where they just elongated everything. Now I'm going to, if you think that there's a head here, if you kind of even draw a round sketch in, you need enough room for ribs and a heart, right?
Yeah.
Think about that. If you're very new to drawing, you need enough room for ribs and a heart. You've got a shoulder ball here and a shoulder ball here.
Yeah.
Don't you? And then I can then kind of go, all right, I've got a waist in. If you really have trouble with figure drawing, you can think of peanuts.
Oh, yeah.
She's got kind of a peanut shape. Now, I'm going to want her to have, I tend to put a lot of junk in my trunk on all my girls. And unfortunately, in my rendition of Elsa, that be true too. This is how we come out in our art in general. And I'm going to flow the line of her skirt down here, right?
Yes.
We'll flow a little bit over, but it's pretty tight if you remember. She's sort of a little tight skirt that flared out at the edge. So now I've got a nice little waist coming up into her, and I know where my shoulders are. My elbows, if you draw a line here, you can see it. My elbows have to be at least about there.
Now you're using
Tuck your own elbows in and see where they sit.
Are you using a chalk pencil?
I'm using a chalk pencil, but listen, guys, you could use this chalk. See?
Oh, that worked just fine.
Yeah, and it'll work just fine. I like a chalk pencil. This is a General's Charcoal White.
Ooh.
Number 55, maybe? 955? I don't know. You can get them everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. I'm going to take this arm out. Right? So there's a triangle right here. Okay, and this is where her magic's going to flow out. I'm going to make a nice little elbow cop right there. Pull a forearm out. Forearm, right, is going to be about somewhere like to my upper arm. Bringing it down. I need to know that joint there, so that's going to taper in. There's a lot of muscle here and 2 bones, so make sure even if she's very slight, that you're leaving room for those. You know, you can make her buff. That's your choice. All right. So I'm here at this wrist, which just gives everybody grief. I'm going to make a little ball. See that there? That is where my thumb will come off. I'm going to pull it up.
Yep.
Now I know a lot about my hand. Right? So if I'm taking a finger like this.
Yeah.
And I'll take that finger. Again, longer fingers than shorter, you'll always be happier. You can get away with really long, crazy fingers. Short fingers, no.
Gotcha. Oh,
Chibi is hard, first of all. You know, you got a lot. You guys are like, anime. Chibi, that's no joke, man.
Yeah.
Those chibi artists, that may be cute and all, but it's serious biz.
Serious.
And notice how that line helped me keep my elbows on a reasonable fulcrum there. A realistic one, so I don't have one longer. That's just a little trick. And I'm taking this off the canvas, which tells me that there's more story over here I can't see. And then I'm going to do the gesture of the braid. This is super important. All right? I'm going to bring the braid down and taper it like that. It's going to do like kind of like an arabesque here. It goes down and comes up. This beautiful curve down, curve up. See how it's like a wave form? You want that. It does a nice little marriage with this shape here. Important stuff. So even though this is a simple design, we have a lot going on. And I'm going to kind of draw in my braid. My braid is a curve in, weave, weave. As I'm going down, I'm going to make it smaller and smaller as I come out the braid. Right about here, I'm going to do a little ball, and then this is where the little tips of the hair will be. See?
Yeah.
Could not be easier.
Now,
across her shoulders, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Across her shoulders, she's a very low scoop neckline, and this is going to be where we're going to hang her little cape. I'm going to make a little sleeve line here and a little sleeve line here. These will be a little lighter. This will all be blue, and then we'll do the cape. Yes, done.
Okay, could you take that little pencil and just put a little wish in there for Mona's mom? She just got some news from her mom. That
we did it at the beginning
right,
of the canvas.
I just want to make sure that
Mona, we totally put a wish in for your mom and also for Janine, of course.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning.
I just wanted to make sure that I caught that with the details for Janine. I just want to make sure that we got Mona's mom stuff there. So
no. And everyone just send positivity to Mona and Mona's mom and Janine as well.
Yeah.
Everybody's going. It's a day. We were all talking about that in chat earlier today.
Yeah, I'm always a little harried at the beginning of when we're trying to get all the buttons pushed and things. So
I'm going to put out a little white, and I'm going to put out a little yellow ochre over here. Got kind of a mess going, but I don't feel like putting out a new piece of palette paper. Being cheap, y'all. I need my quinacridone. This is a very simple skin tone I did on her. And the trick with this is just doing it quite fair.
Okay.
You know, we have a quest on skin tones.
Whoa.
If you want to look a little more into skin tones and start enjoying that.
Look behind you.
What's behind me?
Luna.
Oh, hi, Luna.
She's chasing Twix through the room. Hold on, Luna. Come here.
I was like, I don't know what's behind me. What could ever be behind me? I don't know. Oh, wait. Let me get the last paint out. We don't want to get Twix in paint. I just wanted to say hi. Say hi to everybody. Oh, I know I'm wearing a Chewy. I'm wearing a Chewy. You're so cute. You're so cute. You're so cute. We're going to have to reset the mic. That's mine, puppy. My puppy. It's a very expensive little mic. I love you. Yes. Oh, no. So the sound may be a little weird now. That's a dangerous future. She loves to chew everything. We're also potty training right now. So that's a journey if you have a puppy at home. Lots of really good YouTube videos on puppy care. I've been watching them, a lot of them. And I'm happy to say that the YouTube algorithm is serving me up more interesting puppy care videos, so I've been watching them. That and Brave Wilderness. We've been kind of on a marathon of that. I'm just talking to you about random things that we're doing. Oh, I could talk to you about brushes. So for this, I am, as you know, on a brush quest. So I'm going to be using brushes for acrylic paint. And I'm going to be using a synthetic fiber over a bristle.
Okay.
This is a fabulous bristle, and bristle brushes are fabulous. And sometimes when you're in the store, they'll feel like exactly the right stiffness for a heavy-bodied acrylic paint, but then when you get them wet, have you ever noticed that they soften?
Mm-hmm.
They do. They soften as they get wet. They're amazing for oils, and you can clean them with turpentine and the types of media that clean oils, whereas you cannot do that with very many types of synthetic brushes at all. And I really like this. So what you want on your synthetic fiber is that it feel very similar to your bristle. I don't know if that's a helpful tip, but that's what we're doing today. And I'm going to pick a bright. I like brights.
I can't see what you're doing.
I know. I can't even see what I'm doing. I'm going to pick a number 6 bright, which is one of my favorite sizes, a bright.
What are we doing over there with the bright?
I think it needs to be number 4.
Okay.
I'm just working it out a little bit smart. I'm going to make my little Van Gogh dashes.
Okay.
So one of the nice things about a synthetic filament brush and a bright is that if you don't put it in the blue paint, that's really a helpful beginning. So have you ever had that where you're like scraping off your brush and you're like, I've got wet paint right there. All right, so I'm going to scrape this off. I'm going to get the excess water off. I'm going to get just white. Right? You can even make sure it's just tinted a titch with the Southern Ocean blue, so it's a little bit, married in there. And if you've ever painted any of the Starry Nights with me, you're kind of familiar. Or Monet. We got a couple Monet paintings with the dab, dab, dab. Enjoy your dab, dab, dab. If you want to sing the dab, dab, dab song, I give you permission.
Yeah.
And we're going to be dabbing all the way up the snow flurry. We're not going to dab across her. We're going to dab up to her, skip, and then dab again. We're going to dab around her. If your dab goes a little bit into her, that's okay because you're going to be painting over it. You just don't want to take it all the way across. There's just no point. and you have to paint over it. All right?
Yeah.
Down here, I'm going to let my dabs be a little bit, I'm dipping in the water again just to get a little moisture on my brush and make sure I've got good fluidity in my paint.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't want to use water, you know, to somehow make the integrity of my paint more archival, I could just use a fluid medium like airbrush medium.
Gotcha.
If you were feeling like you got to be fancy on your Elsa painting in some particular way. My daughters were so excited to see this.
Yes.
Yes, you can glitter this. This is a great one to use interference colors with.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to use interference colors with this on her, she would be slightly shining. Like she would be iridescent, much like a pearl would be the effect that you would get in the blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have not been able to get that effect to show up on camera yet.
What's that?
The iridescent, where the
yeah.
camera picks it up.
Well, you know, I think that I have with the new lights I got coming in here.
We're going to be able to see it.
Yeah,
and then we can start talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to very carefully dab around my hand because I did a lot of work to paint the hand.
Yeah.
And I want it to show.
Now, what are interference colors?
Interference colors are this treated metallic particle in a translucent pigment, and they're generally like color shifted. And you add them to paint, and then as you move around the painting, those colors catch the light and create kind of a color shift the same way that you'd see in pearls.
Ah.
They're just cool technology, man.
Mm-hmm.
Totally worth the fun if you're just sitting there going, what is that? What could you add them into? Well, anything abstract, they're fantastic in. And anything, I find that they're really useful in fantasy paintings. Because they just create an extra little dimension to your work.
Yeah, they're really hard to catch because they require point lights.
Yep, which we don't have.
And most studios don't, but we're
gonna get some so we can start showing you what it does. But
yeah.
You don't have to wait for us to start enjoying using them. I'm just taking this little snow flurry around. You can, if you wanted to create some more dimension in your snow flurry, add a little more Southern Ocean blue to the snow.
Mm.
That's a thing that you can do, and you can take it around to more of a point. What is the you and George Takei me?
So Kelly said that Cinnamon realizes that Twix looks like an Ewok, right?
Yeah, I totally know.
Yeah. And
she's the most Ewok-looking dog I've ever seen.
It's my favorite thing in the planet because it's like, you know, I love Ewoks. So being the most deadly thing in the known Star Wars universe.
You know, I just got to figure out, do we need to do a community paint for Rogue One?
Oh, yes, definitely. There's definitely Red One.
Pre-recorded or live? That's what I don't know.
I don't know. It's as long as we get some Death Star action, I don't care.
I'm thinking I got to do a Death Star. It's just been so requested. I'm going to rinse this brush out really, 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 really well. And I'm going to show you real quick with a very small brush. I'm probably going to use like a number 2 bright here, just because it gives me a lot of control. And I may also have to switch to a detail round to get the fingers in. I'm going to show you a basic skin tone. This is what I would call this is skin tone simple.
Okay.
Right? This is just a little quinacridone into yellow ochre, and you're going to get kind of a rosy peach color. Right, I'm looking for a rosy peach color. And then I'm going to add a lot of white to it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
See, I hope that in the upcoming movie, you know, Rogue One, we're going to, or in one of the upcoming movies, we get to find out that, you know, Ewoks truly are the scariest thing out there. Because, I mean, like, they did take on the Empire and win.
I think Lucas owes everybody some weirdness with that, don't you? Now, when the painting is done, if you have little bits of leftover chalk, like if you wait like a day for the painting to set, you should be able to, with like a damp Q-tip, just clean up any of those little lines. See how this is just an easy skin tone?
That is really nice.
Easy skin tone. You can make this a little rosier. You can make this a little golder, just wherever you want to go. But Elsa particularly had a very fair, cold skin, didn't she? That was one of the characteristics of the character. So we're doing that.
Now, Twix is a Cavapoo, right?
She's a Cavapoo, that's right.
A Cavapoo, and that is a King Charles Spaniel
poodle.
And poodle mix.
Yeah.
So
she's the mini one.
The mini one.
Which apparently means bouncy. Apparently when you combine those two dogs, you get the bounciest of all dogs.
She really is the iconic puppy. Just
I love her like, I'm the fastest puppy in the world.
And, you know,
I'm going to paint in this hand.
She puts in so much effort to run across the carpet so slowly.
Does she think she's fast?
She thinks she does. Those
Don't
little legs are
tell
working.
her that she's not the fastest dog ever.
She's the wind.
She's the wind. I'm going to make a little point with her blue dress.
Okay.
But I can still paint my wrist to the opening.
All right, cool.
Very carefully paint out this nice long finger. So nice, so nice.
Now, she's not been a big barker, has she?
No, not yet.
We're still...
She's a bit of a whiner.
She needs attention.
Yeah, a lot of it. And she likes to wake everybody up in the middle of the night to play. She goes and gets Luna because she can get to her blankets.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always entertaining. Because Dad sleeps through that. Dad's a sleepy, sleepy guy.
I hibernate. I don't sleep.
So there we go. We've got a nice little wind kind of coming up. And again, you can like break this up. You can also come back when we get the phthalo blue out. You can add some of that phthalo blue to the snow flurry to create unification. So for those of you that have been like, I can't get this blonde hair, I'm going to take a little of my yellow ochre over to my black. And I'm going to make a good amount of this yellowish gray. Now, some of it I'm going to make more yellow, and some of it I'm going to leave deeper.
And so Grinks is asking, do I hear kids in the background, or are they at school?
What?
So Grinks is like, do I always hear your kids in the background, or are they at school? And
there's some kids here.
There's some kids here, some kids at school. We've got Luna, our youngest, is not in school yet. So she's playing in the back.
I'm going to mix a lot of white into that. Let me see, I get this kind of like soft taupe here. And I'm going to paint in the whole base of her head here. What happens with blonde hairs is we forget to green or gray them out. All the hairstylists go, yup. We just want to use the pure pigments because that's how we feel about the hair, but the hair is actually not.
Yeah.
And we must have lowlights and we must have highlights, even on hair as light as Elsa's, or it won't read like hair.
Ah.
And we're really going to talk about some hair here, if that's okay.
Yes.
So I'm just following the shape of the head. I'm able to paint easily over my blue paint because of the quality of my paint. If you are struggling and you're seeing it feels like you're just painting a glaze, that's probably that you're painting a student paint, and how they're going to save money when they sell you the paint more economically is that they're going to remove pigment and quality materials. Now, one way to know that you're painting a student grade paint, because sometimes it won't say it, is if it's all one price. Professional paint will always have what's called series, and there'll be several prices within the line. So some paint will be reasonable, like titanium white, you know, or yellow ochre. This is a series 1. This is going to be the cheapest paint. But like quinacridone magenta is going to be series 7. That's going to be more expensive. Teal here is a series 3. So it's going to be between the expense. If you see that differential in expense, you are working with pro paint. If you have one price, you are always working with a version of student paint. And that's one way to get around a paint company's marketing, is to just recognize the prices. Because they have to charge you different prices if they're really, really manufacturing pigments.
Gotcha.
They just have to. They're not like just trying to mess with you like, aha, they need this red. Let's charge them $40 for it.
Maniacal pricing.
It's just not at all. They actually really almost underprice all of their product.
Dude, I have to say, once I saw what goes into making paint,
yeah, they underprice.
It really changed a lot for me about this whole experience.
Good brushes, good paints, they're generally all, even if they are pricey, they're still all underpriced. Because there's so few people that even have the skill sets that make them anymore.
Yeah.
So I followed my little tracing shape. So you can see it's kind of like little bumps that get ever smaller.
Yeah.
Right, which I love. And then I'm going to make a little thing here, and I'm going to take my hair. I'm using the end of the brush. I'll do this nice little flick there. How I get that is that when I finish my stroke, I lighten it ever so slightly. And we might have a brush stroke class coming up in 2017. Because I think that's just something people struggle with and they think they can't get, but they can. All right. Isn't that very expressive little hair here?
Ooh, that is.
So I got even more expressive with this painting. This happens to me. I'm not a very good copy machine. I'm a good art teacher, but I'm kind of a terrible copy machine.
Now, you use that thing gesture a lot.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Gesture is the way a line moves lyrically or expressively across the canvas, creating a feeling of shape and space. So the gesture of this wonderful bit of snow against the gesture of this braid creates dynamic energy, even though the piece would normally be very static because she's just standing like this. She's not in a dynamic pose like the one that's real popular with her where she's like, snow powers.
Right.
Right? Where the hand, let me do it, like the hand's like that, and you have to do it foreshortened perspective, and it's a very, just the positioning of that pose is very dynamic. So when you're a beginning artist and you're having to make more static poses,
gotcha,
because you're building up your skill set and you're not ready for a foreshortened hand, so you're doing this sort of Egyptian flat to the canvas thing. And when I say Egyptian, you remember how in the hieroglyphs the Egyptians were like, they like bent everything so everything was flat?
Yes.
Right? That's what it is. So you've got this sort of thing here. By putting in these elements, the flow of her cape, all of that, you create a ton of energy in the piece without asking you to go beyond maybe where you're at right now. Does that make sense?
Totally does.
Okay. I don't ever know if anything I'm saying ever makes sense.
Totally does.
I'm just never sure. All right. So now the next thing that I might do, right, is I'm going to take my color over to my white, and I'm going to make an even lighter white. It won't be the lightest color I use in the hair, and I might add just a smidge more ochre to it. Because I'm really you guys are always asking me how I really, really do hair.
Yeah.
It's the layers. So I'm going to come right to the top of her head. And you'll see this is a shade. Like if this were a grayscale, it's one shade up.
And if I can, I'm going to give my moderators some big art hugs and high fives. I know Mark's here and Christy's here and Flame and Colleen and Mona and you know, you guys are all out here just I really appreciate you guys taking care of everything, making sure that we stay troll free, and you know.
Did we have a troll?
Oh, no, they're just, I mean, like, they're out there making sure that questions are answered and that there aren't any problems. And I appreciate it because we couldn't have a great of a time here as we do without them quietly, vigilantly standing there taking care of things.
This is absolutely true.
So, for the unsung heroes of our show, thank you.
Everyone who comes right now. So they might not even get notifications to know what's happening. So everyone who comes. All right. So when we get to the highlight of the braid, we're going to brush this highlight along these outer edges. This is the highest part of the braid, right? And that helps define that space. Just didn't want you guys to miss that. And I'm going to come into her hair here and add just a little other dimension. Isn't that nice? I'm going to switch out brushes now, and I'm going to get into one of my details. This is a number 1. This is a very small detail brush. It comes to a fine point, and it holds that point.
I couldn't see it. Oh, there you go.
Okay. It holds this point even as I'm working. And for those of you guys that are asking, this is a Sterling Studio Round, number 1. It is not expensive. It is, however, really well made, but it's not expensive. I'm going to get into apparently my blue that I'm going to get on my hands because I haven't been here until I put paint on my hand. I'm going to get into my darkest color. Make sure this blue is completely off my hand. And I'm going to add a few of these darker hairs very lightly, following her hair here. I'm going to maybe put a few more right here at the base. Couple here and there. These are very light lines. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Not even done yet.
And I'm going to give an art high five to Patty.
Hi, Patty.
She's diabetic, and she couldn't bring donuts, so she brought a row of strawberries because she was late. And
thank you.
I think that's awesome.
I'm on healthy life choices anyway, so I wasn't going to get to have donuts.
So we'll take it.
So I'm coming here, and I am defining this outer edge, creating this sort of space on the braid. See how that creates a space on the braid? Where you can see where it's the shadow, and I'll put a couple lines in here. And I'm developing the hair now, aren't I?
You are.
Let me tell you, little girls are going to, if you're a little girl and you're painting, you care about this right now. And if you're painting for a little girl, that's going to be the secret sauce for her right there. Is that that braid that feels like that thick braid.
Now, to clarify some things, I'm also known as stunt hands sometimes.
Yes, you are the stunt hands.
So in chat they were wondering who is stunt hands and who is John, and they're the one person, that's me.
Yeah. If all you see is his hands during a show, then he's stunt hands.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Then there's Lisa, who's also known as Flame Gremlin, and she's our community manager, and she's out there and she helps answer questions and take care of things.
And she's the keeper of the links and the leader of the guild.
Yes.
For WoW.
For WoW. And speaking of
which, there is a Sherpa guild.
Yes, and you can go bug her. You can go bug her. Absolutely bug her.
Next WoW painting is Pepe.
Yes.
And yeah, I am designing.
She's like, what do you mean bug me, John? And I'm like, go join the guild, and like,
all right.
And we're gonna be doing some funness out there. So she
load your brush here with that same dark color, and just make sure that you do a little lining, a soft lining on your hands, so that they stand out. See how I'm doing on the back side of these fingers? Makes a difference to the hand looking finished.
Yeah.
It really, really, really does. All right. Once I have that, I have one last thing. And I have to put this out anyways, because when I give myself snow, because I got to let it go. And when I put the snow out, I really want everyone at home to sing Let It Go.
Now, can you give a little art high five to Little Brush Seth, who is...
Hi, Little Brush Seth. Hi.
He's a huge fan of Frozen and is loving this painting. Just screaming at the painting, going, yes, yes, more of this.
More of this? Will you make sure that Let It Go is sung when we flick the snow on there?
Yeah, we have to.
Very important stuff.
Because we
should
can't
have done Olaf.
We can't play it on. We can't play it here. So at home, you have to sing it for us. That way.
Sing it so loud that they hear it on the replay.
That's right.
So I've got just white. Interestingly enough, you can add a little ochre to this soft-bodied white, and I get this soft-bodied white because I want this to flow off my brush in very fine lines. This is the trick of fine lines. Can you thin your paint with water to get this? Yes, you can. And that is acceptable as well.
All right.
And I'm going to come here with my lightest hair following the outside, and I'm going to dip right into the white hair. Let's really pop this. Because remember, her hair was quite light. And to get that feeling and that fineness, and then it comes around her head very loosely on this braid. Hopefully y'all can see this with the up-close cam. More up closer? No. Is my head in the way? I'm always in the way.
I'm just trying to adjust the contrast down just a touch.
All right. We were in here blacklight painting recently, and that really throws us off. Okay. I think the last thing we had color bounce was the tree, the simple tree. If you guys are looking for an easy tree, it's on the channel. 8x10. I'm going to make some very fine lines following her head. Hopefully you guys are going, oh, this just looks like hair.
Yeah. Uh-oh. I hear. Let me go check on.
I think that's
I'll
a
be
really
right
good
back.
idea. All right. I will give it a rest while he's checking on that and say hi to everybody. For all the little brushes that are painting at home, thank you very much for coming today. I appreciate that. For all the grown-up brushes that are also painting in Sherpas, I appreciate you being here. What I'm hearing is something between the puppy and my daughter. The puppy really, really likes her favorite stuffy. And you can say Space Bear needs to be up high, but we're still getting to a place where we know to put Space Bear up high. And I have Space Bear Emergency Repair Kit right on my desk, as you do. Space Bear is my daughter's favorite stuffy that we got at NASA, that she believes is an actual alien from space who only she can see alive, and takes her on space adventures. She found him in the bucket. He was hiding among other stuffed animals that were not alive, but her bear is totally alive.
Sorry about that.
So that is.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Everybody okay?
Yes. Luna's hair became.
Oh, I thought it was a Space Bear issue.
No. Her.
Well, I told the whole Space Bear story.
Twix was using Luna's hair as a pull toy, and Luna was very like. No, and was caught between.
That's even worse than taking Space Bear as a chew toy.
She just didn't know how to say no to the puppy.
We're working on that. Patience.
Oh no, I mean like she was just letting her
Luna.
do it because she didn't know how to like tell her like don't do that.
Yeah. No, I mean the kids like that's a thing that they're learning through this whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just creating these lighter highlights. I'm not pulling any flyaways out of the braid. All the hair is caught into the braid. And then I'm going to pull. Now we can have some flyaways here, right?
Yep.
That feel like hair. All of your hair will have some functionality like this to it when you're doing hair. So whether it's fur or hair or any of that, these are essentially the steps and skills that you're using. I kind of like that. I feel like that's pretty good. I might drop a second coat on her neck of skin color.
Get some of that in. Now, if you're using student paints, you might have to do more than 2 coats?
If you're using student paints, you will have to do more than 2 coats. That's a will, and that's okay.
Why is that?
Not enough pigment.
Okay. So they just
don't.
Not
enough pigment to cover. That is where they're going to save the money. So there's the only way to make all the paint one price, a tube, and to get that cost low is to lower the quality of the ingredients.
Or either lower the quality or the density.
And the density.
Yeah.
And actually it's both, because you're never going to see real cadmium pigment
right
in a student paint. That's not ever happening. Because that stuff is expensive to do.
And the reason why we say that is at the point you're adding cadmium to it, that's the most expensive component. You will have upgraded other components within the paint so that it can handle that higher grade, Well,
everything gets better.
Yeah, it's the material science of it all, which is really fascinating. But off topic for today's show. But just something you need to know. And you need to know that the paint companies are really trying to do a good job by you no matter what you're painting with. Yeah.
Their intention is to give you the best they can give you. They're not all of them. All the big name ones are really trying to do good by you.
Yeah. There
are some, I don't know, crazy off name. I don't know what, but just the ones that have websites and established credentials.
We generally any of the ones we're talking about here.
Yeah. So we're going to use phthalo, and you're going to see how the phthalo actually pops against the blue. Now on this, I might put out some glazing liquid. You don't have to have any glazing liquid. I really like the glazing liquid if you can get it. It is both a retarder, which means that it slows the drying time down of the paint, and it's also a glaze. And there aren't products that are both that I found, so I really love this one. I'm going to upgrade to a number 8 braid, do my usual dealio where dip in, drag off the extra water.
Vixie had a great suggestion.
Hey, Vixie.
She says you should paint Space Bear in a space in a space painting for Luna.
I really should. Space Bear is rainbow too, so that would be really a trip.
Yeah.
So I'm just at the bottom doing just blue. That's the first thing that I'm doing here. Just blue. Just at the bottom. See, it's just this deep blue.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to create an ombre as I go up. And you'll notice that my brush strokes follow the direction of her body. So I'm going to get a little white. Mix that in there. And as I'm coming up, I'm going to blend that ombre.
Nice.
Isn't that wonderful? Well, I like it. I get so excited. I'm like, isn't it wonderful? And people are like, I don't know. It's okay. It's paint. But it makes me really happy. I love the blending. And you can take a lot of time on this dress if you want to. You could glitter the dress if you wanted to.
There was some questions about that. There was people thinking about glittering and using interference colors.
Definitely interference, like we talked about earlier. I would definitely recommend interference. And I would definitely recommend glitter. I had thought about glittering the painting at the end, but I don't think we got it out.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that kind of a day. I'm just painting up the shape that I have with my phthalo blue. And you could see that the phthalo really stands out. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just really does. Really stands out. I'm getting a little light over here on the hip, so I'm going to come back and darken that. Because I really want her sleeves to be the lightest part of her dress.
Oh, yeah. I can kind of see that in the example there.
Yeah. So I'll have to darken that. But, you know, it's about glazes and layers, and so we're doing okay so far. Also, it's so that her outer cape really pops over everything. So I will go ahead and just add a little more pigment to the space. You can see just darkening it up. Where I got a little crazy with my lightness. I'm going to come up the shoulder. Now this, I will pull a little more white onto my brush.
There's a lot of singing in chat right now.
Huh?
I'm enjoying that. There's a lot of singing in chat right now where they're sharing their music.
Oh, is there?
There is. It's pretty awesome.
That's fantastic. I think that's I think it was the love between the sisters. I think it was the music of this. I think there was a lot that came together and created that Disney magic. Boy, when they nail it, they nail it. They always make a good product, but sometimes they just...
Oh, Spider's starting to spot them.
Huh?
Spider has started to spot Disney movies.
Oh, yeah. He wants to know ahead because he doesn't want the parents to die.
Yeah.
So that's his thing. Is this Disney? Is this Disney? Because he wants to leave the room for the death of the parents.
I don't know what it was you guys were watching, but you walked out of the room and he came back in. He goes, their parents died. Is this a Disney movie?
It was Pete's Dragon.
It was Pete's Dragon. That's right. I was like, oh, man. It is
a Disney movie.
But in all fairness, this is back when they were deep into killing parents. You know,
they are always in the killing parents business.
I mean, they've lightened up on it. You know,
Where has it been lighter? Give me a movie.
Oh, well,
Give me a movie.
Okay, so in Aladdin,
Moana, has she got parents? I don't know. I haven't seen that one yet.
We don't know if Aladdin had parents, but
Were they there?
The princess had her dad was there.
Who?
The princesses. Princess.
Our mom was.
Was she dead? Yeah. Okay. So you're not helping me.
Just give me one, man. This is the Disney game. Tell me,
all right,
a kid with a complete set of parents. It's rough biz, man. It's rough biz.
There's got to be somebody.
Only when they license Studio Ghibli. Because he's like not so keen on killing.
No. Wait. Okay. So in Pixar, Andy's had both his parents.
Where was Andy's dad? I only ever saw the mom.
He was out getting coffee.
For the 3 movies?
Working. I don't know.
For 3 movies?
Pocahontas. Thank you. Pocahontas. No, see,
okay, there we go.
Pocahontas.
Because history said.
Because there were no parents in there.
Because history would have been like, because history said.
And
Mulan. History said.
The the Hunchback from Notre Dame. He had his parents. All parents involved.
He was dropped at the church. He's an orphan.
Well, they didn't die. We just didn't know who they were. The story picked up later. I'm trying. I don't know. I'm working for it here.
I'm just saying there's a formula. And my kids, my small children, have picked up on it.
Incredibles.
All right. Yes. But again, that was Pixar, wasn't it?
Yes. Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty, mother died towards the end.
All right. Man, we gotta go upbeat with this. This sisters are happy. They're
orphans.
Man. This is not making it easy.
Because there would have been some parents to say, "Not that boy, no, Anna. Not that boy. That boy is off."
Oh man, they're not helping me. Yeah. So the D was like laying me on the Hunchback story, and I was like, "Oh man, no, that was 101 Dalmatians. They just wanted to turn the dogs into coats. All the parents were okay."
This is true. If you're dogs, you get parents. Oh, it's rough biz, man.
Yeah, no, I was going to go for the Little Mermaid too, but the mermaid's mom, man, like as you get deep into that story.
Yeah, that's why he's so mental.
Yeah, he's like.
Because she got killed. I don't know. There used to be music. And then there's the whole not music thing because she died.
You go to look in the Jungle Book, and not only is Mowgli an orphan, but he's trying to be eaten by most of his friends. So that's like definitely a...
Tarzan. I mean, just saying. Just go. And all the kids are like with me going, yeah, it's a problem.
Hey, Maleficent's mom and dad. No.
Where did she come from? She's spawned by magic.
Okay, well.
Though I have to say, I love the remake where the true love was her.
Yeah.
It wasn't, some 16-year-old deal.
Yeah.
That, to me, was fantastic. I was like, because honestly, I feel like sometimes moms are painted kind of bad. Do you know what I mean?
Mommy dearest.
Like, and if you're doing anything remotely like a good parent, how are you have anything in common with the bad guy in a movie? When you're setting a boundary. What?
That's awesome.
No, go play in the magical forest for things each. I don't want to limit your growth. Right?
Well, you know what, though? You know what almost time it is? I'm going to go over and see if I can get the preview and then go this button and then go this button. And then I'm going to come over here and somewhere on this button I can find something.
Are we kind of loving how she looks? She casts a nice silhouette, doesn't she?
She has a really nice silhouette.
She does, man.
And we're not ready. We're not done though.
No, we're not remotely done.
We're not remotely done.
Actually, I'm ready to put her cape on, but if we're about to dance, I don't want to start the cape.
We are about to dance. And this is our lovely like early 90s anything box throwback music. And we're going to dance because we have 300 likes. So thank you guys. We are Sherpa. So thank you very much. And we're almost like Sherpa in people too. We've got over 250 people here consistently.
I hope people are doing the brush dance with me.
Yes. Oh yeah, we should. And you know what? If you can't get up and dance with us, then you should wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes and remind your body that you are alive and here to paint and celebrate.
Would it be cool if I were a drummer and I could just whip that out right now? But I wasn't. So
I played the drums. I played lots of instruments. I wish I had a drum kit. I would play more. No more drums. They're too loud.
You're so funny. I'm going to dry this real quick. Make sure your painting is dry at home.
Yes. While she's doing that, I'm going to say thank you guys. We're going to leave the music playing here for a little while. I love you guys. Thank you for this. And oh yeah. So we've got some new cool features on the website. So if you post your picture up on the website and you tag it for whatever picture you're doing, you know, like this one, you could tag it Elsa. Or if you tag like the big art quest or things like that, we're going to be able to start surfacing those on the website. So your paintings will be going up on the web on the main page and things like that. So definitely go out, sign up, www.TheArtSherpa.com. Ooh, I want to put that up there. I have a graphic right there at the bottom of the page. Go there, sign up, come hang out. We've got chat. We've got all the community pictures. You can upload your pictures and share them with your friends. You know, do all that kind of stuff.
Are we ready to cape it up?
I'm ready to cape it up.
It's got to flow. It's got to blow in the wind. She's a magic chick. She's doing some stuff. So I've got a very stiff brush. This is natural bristles, and because I'm not going to get it wet, it's going to remain very stiff and scratchy. And I'm going to do what's called a dry brush technique.
Okay.
So you see I'm pulling out some just white here, and I'm just getting it on the tip of the bristles. You can even flay them out a little bit if you need to. Okay. I'm going to come from this part right here on her, and I'm going to flow out a very soft line.
Ah.
Now I'm going to come from this side here and flow out also a very soft line. All right, this is what we're doing. Flowing out a very soft line. I'm going to come back on the flat. Notice how the dry brush is allowing a lot of what is behind it to show through.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling out my paint, loading the brush, but no water. And come on the back. I'm going to just pull this down lightly, just dusting it with pigment. When you're painting things that aren't intrinsically see-through, what you're really painting is just their highlights where the sunlight is catching them. Reflections, those types of things. So even though her cape is solid, the light is really shining through it and allowing you to see what's underneath. It's very rustly. Is everything okay?
Oh yeah. No, I was just checking something. So I was gonna say, I wasn't sure if Kim M was in here. We sent out a bunch of boxes and packages yesterday. There was a bunch of. We had to resend out some cards because I'm not sure if they were lost in the mail. So we resent a couple of them. But I was gonna send a big heart to Kim M because Luna had put a little special message on her package there. So it was. I just wanted to make sure that I had all of the that stuff there was in case anyone was asking. I've got we resent out all of our packages and stuff so that anybody who wanted to make sure they got their stuff before Christmas, it really came in. So
yeah,
we're taking care of that.
So I'm just going to make sure that this outer line is fairly where you can really see it, so you know it's part of the cape. And the trick here is going to be don't do too much.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So once I have her fabulous flowing cape, we're really feeling her, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
She's looking pretty darn good.
Darn.
You know, darn.
Darn.
That's how princesses talk. Now I'm going to get my secret tool. Where did I put my secret tool? This is basically the very inexpensive brush that you get at your dentist, and it gives you a very fine mist. I'm going to load this in. You can see I'm just sort of pushing it down and running around. This is not easy on the manicure. And I'm going to focus my splatter at the bottom. And now, and then I'm going to take it up and around. I'm going to make a light snow.
You're going to have to let me chase you around there a little bit.
Okay. I'm going to do an overall, and then I'll just really nail the bottom. And all of you at home who are not currently, actually you can sing and flick. Sing, your let it go.
You can just, let it go. And let it blow and just sing that song. I don't know. I'm not good at this part. How do I inspire people to sing?
Sing. I'm sure all the kids are singing.
I'm sure. There's just you got to be singing this part. There's that,
I love this because it talks about accepting who you are. Because you can't be anything other than who you are.
So if you're a little brush watching, you got to sing with us. You got to show your mom and dad and grandma and grandpa and aunts and uncles how it's done. So sing it out.
I'm going to definitely flick much closer and harder at the bottom because this is the snow flurry she's kicking up. Right? I might even moisten my brush just a titch. My toothbrush, not a lot. Wouldn't want it soaking, just if I'm having any flow issues. You can always check your snow on a scratch piece of paper, like construction paper, to see that you're getting the kind of splatter. Everything gives you a slightly different splatter effect.
Mm-hmm.
So you can definitely check and be like, is this the splatter that I want? Right? You can check how, if you flick it this way versus flicking it across along the flat. And you're going to get different sizes of drops. Varying that up is going to give you a lot of personality in your piece. We're almost done.
Oh yeah. Now it's interesting. Elsa was. It's a very old story.
Yes. Very old.
This is a very old story. which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah, very, very old. So just definitely experiment with, like, if I go this way, what happens?
That's really cool. I like how it goes. Yeah. I like making sound effects. Small
splatters. This is what I found on this brush. I get small splatters going across.
I'm going to zoom in on some of those.
Big ones dragging vertically. I mean,
and it's kind of like cool impasto snow.
Yeah, it will. Well, now I'm using fluid paint, so it's self-leveling. So it won't really hold that much.
But it makes those cool little bubbly things, though.
But it will be bubbly.
And that's, I think.
And I just want to make sure that there's enough that it feels like she's kicking up a flurry here.
Now, if you only have heavy body paint, can you water it down to do that?
You can.
But now, if
carefully,
we suggest that you practice that a lot more.
Yeah, and make your mixture in one area, and pre-mix it, clean water. What you're looking for is about an olive oil consistency, maybe a little heavier pancake batter.
Yeah.
And definitely practice that. And before I had fluid paint, I did it, and I got used to it, and I learned how to make my heavy-bodied work. And I had wave, splatter, galaxy stars, snow flurries.
Yeah, actually,
it was no problem.
Right over here, over my my desk, we had a bunch of when Cinnamon was first doing this, we had a bunch of black foam core that I had in here, and she did a bunch of practice splatters on it. So I have a galaxy model airplane that's flying over my desk that's made of that galaxified.
And if you look at my Aurora Borealis, I think about minute 20 or something, maybe it's minute 30, I demo like different types of ways to get different types of splatter. And you just do this until you feel like girlfriend has some snow.
Snow it up.
You snow it up until you feel snowtacular. And that you feel like, she has enough snow to make you happy.
And this is also another good layer that you get to add to your easel.
And you could, once this is all dry, hit this with some gloss medium and varnish and throw some glitter at it. As well.
Glitter,
good time
for sure.
To put your brush in the water. And we're going to sign it.
Are you?
Yes, I am, because I'm proud of it.
I think it's beautiful.
I'm going to sign Elsa. I'm really happy with this painting. This is one I really wanted to give to the community for a long time. And I just think she's a great one to teach. I think she's a great one to do, to give as a gift, to share with your kids, just to have for yourself, because let's admit there's some adult fans. Right? As an adult fan of everything, I totally get it.
Vixie has galaxified her keyboard on accident. Mostly by accident.
Yeah, it's not good for your house.
No, it's like
super fun for your soul, though.
It is good.
It's also good for your kids. They love it. They're like straw blow everything. My kids have splatter and blow paint down.
Yes.
All right, I always like to sign in an interesting location. Some people like to always just sign over here in the lower right, but I always like to be integrated into the piece. I don't want it to take away from what I've already made. I want it to be a part of the composition. Just something to think about, but you do what makes you happy. There we go. Whew, we let it snow. We let it glow. Thank you guys. Really be sure and check that bell. Make sure you hit the bell, mash the bell. You might get notifications if you do that.
Might.
Check your subscriptions. If you're not subscribed and you think you were, there's a form. I think Lisa has it that you could fill out and tell YouTube, because they think this. As we've learned, this is been an ongoing thing. But we're fine. You go by Facebook, you go by the website, you go by Twitter, you go by anywhere. You're going to know that we have stuff happening. You're going to know our schedule. So no matter what state of subscription we're in to each other.
Now, can I ask you real quick? I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, just no matter what state of subscription we are with each other, you can find us.
Yeah.
From everywhere, because we're everywhere, like the Borg.
Now, a quick question here. Now, why would you varnish this before you put glitter on it?
Oh, not as a varnish. So gloss medium and varnish is a gloss medium and also a varnish, and according to the company, an isolation coat.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't verified that with, say, 6 other companies. Liquitex itself is so...
Cool.
It's a jar of stuff that I have around. I use it as a varnish. That's how I get the Philip DeFranco box unsealed to Philip DeFranco. It's a pretty tough sealant.
So real quick, would you seal this? Would you do a varnish and then do glitter?
Well, I would definitely, I would use the varnish as the glue for the glitter. I would put a coat of the varnish, flick it on there. Wait for that to dry, and then varnish the whole thing over.
Gotcha.
If you want a high flick, like if you have a holographic, if your glitter is hollow, then what you might want to do is varnish, let it dry, put another coat down, hit the glitter, and then not varnish again.
That makes sense.
Because the varnish will kind of diminish the hollow a little tiny bit.
All right. Well, that's pretty awesome. And I wanted to just say thanks to everybody. You know, we've had a pretty awesome time. I love hanging out with you guys. I love spending this time with you and Cinnamon. Please share your pictures. Is that okay to say?
Yes.
Love seeing your pictures.
We love to see them. We're on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and, of course, on TheArtSherpa.com. And you can come into the group Angeluni and share there. Listen, every space we have is a negativity-free zone.
That's what our awesome moderators do.
So you're going to find that you're supported. You're going to find positivity, you know, and we catch stuff pretty quick. So
we love you guys.
No free sunglasses. I got that locked down. It doesn't ever happen.
When are we going to see them again?
No.
When are we going to see everybody?
We're going to see them again on Thursday because we got to work on some mountains so we can do Saturday's thing, and we've got the Grinch on next Tuesday.
Yeah, and there's some other stuff that's going to be popping up. So check the website because we're always dropping sneaky stuff.
And you gotta love us for it because apparently we get penalized the more we upload.
We're going to keep uploading though. We got more stuff.
We're just going to keep, even if we get dinged, because we love y'all. We're going to keep uploading. Share us. That's how. Share us. That's the only way we're going to get found these days. Share.
We love you guys.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
What was that?
Hi. Love you guys.